Let's get to work on the note card box that we are going to create for this class that accommodates the 3x3 cards that we are creating for the class, in addition to accommodating 3 1/8 by 3 1/8 square mini envelopes in Whisper White that Stampin' Up! Offers that coordinate beautifully with the cards that we're making. And everything just fits neatly inside. To make the base, you would actually cut this cardstock to 6 1/4 inch square and score at 1 1/2 on all sides. And I will show you with the top, which is done exactly the same, or the lid, exactly the same way, except that it's 1/8 inch larger so that it can fit on the outside of the base. But all those details will be on my online class blog for you to be able to either print out or to read along with. So I mentioned that this was going to be 1/8 inch larger than the base when I started with the paper with the base. So I've cut this wonderful piece of Ice Cream Parlor Designer Series paper. It's one of the celebration freebies, which is a wonderful little set with great patterns. I love small patterns to work with. And there are quite a few in that little set. This one is 6 3/8 inch square, and it's scored at 1 1/2 on all sides. The exact same thing for this one, except you have it at 6 1/4 square, but again, it's scored at 1 1/2 on all sides. So the directions are exactly the same for the lid and the bottom, except that they are 1/8 inch different. I've also gone in and then used my paper snips to cut 4 different spots from the outside to the first 1 1/2 line here, 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 and here. In addition, I've taken sticky strip and placed it double here, double here, double here, and double here. Those are going to be the tabs that form the top. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed with putting it together, because that's always the fun part. I like to do one corner at a time, and you want to fold and score the entire side. As a matter of fact, I should have done this at the very beginning. Go all the way around and do all sides. That way they'll be crisp and ready, and if you want it really perfect, you could use a bone folder, but I like to do this kind of by hand, because sometimes the bone folder can be hard on designer series paper. If you press too hard, you might end up losing a little bit of the color. So I'm lining up that crisp edge, and the sticky strip is going to make darn sure it stays in place. So I've got one corner done. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other corners, just removing the outside of the sticky strip. And again, this is actually quite easy way to do a card, and what a great way to give a little boxed gift set. Or you can certainly, instead of note cards, you could certainly have a little gift inside. But this is a nice size, a really nice size, because it does accommodate that note card size that's very, very popular. And this is the last one. See how quick it is to assemble this? I really love this box. It's just so simple, not a lot of thinking and measuring going on. One little tip that you may want to do is I'm using a 1-inch circle punch, and I'm going in just a little bit, not quite halfway, centered. This is going to make it easier to remove the top. So again, I'm just going to go in a little ways, not quite halfway. Well, if you did it halfway, it'd probably look just fine. See how that gives me these 2 little spots for grabbing on? So now, with any luck, this is going to be a great fit for the box, and it is. So let's give it some jazz. I'm going to go the opposite direction of this. I don't know why, I just think I like the look of that little curve. Anybody who opens this is still going to need to take the ribbon off. But this is a piece of Daffodil Delight 5/8 satin ribbon from Stampin' Up. I'm just crossing it over, holding it down. My only trick is that I like to bring it around and under, hold this down flat and still, and pull with the other side to get a nice square. See how I did that? And I normally would use only my paper scissors from Stampin' Up! Because they cut so clean, but I'm going to use my paper snips because I left those upstairs. I want you to know that the paper snips can do double duty if you need them and you're videotaping and you need to keep rolling. There you go. Then we've talked about spring flowers. Well, I love the look of modern. So I wanted to show you a quick and simple modern flower that you could put together. I've got all the details on my blog. Very simply, I've used 2 Stampin' Up! Tag punches that layer perfectly on top of each other. I stamped it with Smile from Fabulous Phrases and layered the 1 inch, the 3/4 inch, and the 1/2 inch circle punches. The darker orange is Tangerine Tango, and the lighter is Peach Parfait. And then, of course, I popped on a little Daffodil Delight designer button from the Bold Designer Buttons package. One quick little tip for you on this. To create the leaves, it's quite easy. You can just go in with it, and then you turn it around, and you sift it in. It's a little harder with the smaller one. And see how I can create a leaf? So very easily for that. And that's exactly what I did with these. I used a smaller circle for this one and a larger one for this one. If you have problems, you know how I just sort of popped it in and went like that? If you don't have enough room or you're using a little scrap, you can always make a long skinny piece and just sort of fish it in with that and then pop out another leaf. It's very, very simple. So then the final touch for my box. I'm so excited about this box because I love, whenever I give these to people, they just go nuts. I'm just using a piece of linen thread. I've just popped a hole in the back using my crocodile and actually hid the hole underneath. You don't have to show that. Or you can opt to do that and put an eyelet there if you like that look too. This will show you how you can make a very simple and pretty tag. I think that's all this little set needs to dress it up. I'm going to slide this up this way a little bit so that you can see more of the tag. So, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you stay tuned for the bonus tutorial. But again, one more way to show a flower with spring colors, but this is a more modern design and also very, very simple. Just circles layered on top of each other. Thank you.